All right, what's up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here. Thank you so much for tuning in to GSD Interviews. Before we jump into this interview, I want to give our sponsors a quick plug that make this show possible. So our first sponsor is our real estate software, www.perfectstormnow.com, the most affordable and effective lead generation software out there. This isn't just a website. Yeah, we've got a website. Yeah, we've got a blog feature. Yeah, we have testimonials and video client testimonials feature. We have community pages. We have all of the typical website stuff. Where we differentiate ourselves is on the lead generation. We teach you how to lead generate. The system is extremely effective with lead generation. We can teach you how to go out there and generate more leads than you can handle without spending a penny on lead generation, right? Not only, though, do we teach you how to lead generate, not only is it a great website, it's a coaching platform combined with software. So we have two monthly live training sessions that are 2 hours long with myself personally. So we teach you how to use the site, how to generate with the site, how to leverage the site. And it goes deeper than that. Okay, I'm getting all these leads. What do I do? What do I say? How do I convert these leads? So we go and train you and coach you on every aspect of that so you can go out there and dominate it in your business. You have access to me, my developers on a daily basis as a customer of ours. So it's $99 a month, no contracts, no registration fees. It's month to month, $99 a month. You can't beat it, right? So go check us out, www.perfectstormnow.com. Our next sponsor is my personal mentorship. You know, if you're ready to take your business, your life, your career to the next level, we've got my 90-day mastery boot camp, which is a mentorship with me personally. Every single week, it's 3 hours or 2 hours of live coaching and training with me, and then 1 hour live Q&A. You have daily access to me and our private mastermind. We build out your playbook, every aspect of the residential real estate business, from how to lead generate to how to lead follow-up to how to do your presentations to how to build out your database. We even start talking about how to grow a team, how to hire, how to fire. There's nothing that we do not cover inside that program. Then after the program's done, after the initial 12-week program's done, it's an ongoing platform. It's $50 a month where you have access to me for as long as you want. You know, right? And in that $50 a month program, you guys, I've made that where $50 a month is more powerful than a $1,000 a month coaching program that you can get anywhere else. So we do 4 hours of monthly coaching at $50 a month. So you get 4 hours of live coaching. We have 2 in-person masterminds here in Phoenix, Arizona. They're every 6 months. It's a private mastermind with me and only the alumni bootcamp members that are part of the mentorship. We don't bring in guest speakers. There's nothing to sell. There's none of that crap that we all get at all these other seminars that we go to. You usually go pay $500 to a seminar and they try to sell you a bunch of shit. That's not what this is. This is hardcore masterminding. This is a hardcore mentorship, mastermind, and growth program. So if you guys want to learn more about that, www.90daymastery.com. Hope to see you guys in the program. All right, let's jump on into the interview. Hopefully you enjoy this as much as I did. What is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here with another GSD interview. Every single week, we interview top entrepreneurs, top real estate agents, and just straight up top badasses. You guys that are out there dominating their space, that are doing big things, that are choosing to live big lives and not accept mediocrity. So today, you guys, I got an awesome guest on the show, guy I'm really excited to have on here. This is a entrepreneur, mega real estate agent doing hundreds of millions of dollars in production every year. So really stoked and excited and honored to have Noah Ostroff on the show. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, thanks for having me, Josh. Thanks for having me.
Huge honor, man. You know, I love when I see dudes like yourself that are just out there doing big things, man, especially in the real estate space, because it seems to be kind of this dinosaur industry, you know, and when we see some of these guys like you that are just out there doing some massive things, doing things different, it's always so awesome to talk to you and impressive, bro. So before we talk about what you're doing today, though, dude, let's rewind the clocks, man. I mean, how did you get started on this entrepreneur journey in the first place?
So when I got out of college, I got into real estate. I was a project manager for a large home builder. So I sort of learned about the business then, back in 2003, 4, 5, when the market was booming. After that, I worked for another large builder as more of a construction manager role. So I sort of got an understanding of how houses are built, right? We're selling houses all day, so it's good to understand sort of how they're built as well. 2008, I actually got into sales in real estate. And, I didn't know at the time that they pretty much hire anybody that walks in the door. I was at Coldwell Banker then. I thought it was a job interview. So I walked in with a whole PowerPoint presentation about what I was going to do. I had done research on how I was going to generate leads, and I was going to prospect for sale by owners and expireds. And here was the marketing campaign and the farming that I was going to do. And here's what I was going to do for my database. And I had done the research on it and talked to a lot of agents to figure out what you needed to do. And I came with this PowerPoint presentation saying, I'm going to do X number of deals first year. I'm going to start a team the second year. And they're like, who the heck is this guy? Like, nobody comes in and talks about this stuff. So that's sort of how I started out my career, and really just jumped in from day one. And the culture at the time, where at the company I was at, was you had to lead generate every day. You had to cold call. You had to prospect for business. So that's all I knew. I just assumed that you had to do that. So I started doing my business like that. And literally every second of the day, I was just calling people and generating business. And everybody I saw, to me, everybody needed a place to live, whether they were renting or whether they were buying. Everybody needed a place to live. So every single person in my mind was a potential client. And that's how I looked at it. So I almost talked to people too much and telling them too much about what I was doing, to the point where they're like, all right, let's talk about something other than real estate. But for me, that was all I was living, breathing, dreaming about all the time.
Yeah, awesome, man. Love it. So you jump in from the new home sales, which is almost more of a corporate America kind of a style of a job. And then you jump into the resale side, which is there's no accountability, nobody's managing, nobody's watching over you. What were some of those initial obstacles that you had to overcome that you maybe didn't expect to be a challenge for you?
I think I learned early in my career that you control the listings and you control the business. So I really focused early on in my career around listings. It was very important to me to have good work-life balance from the beginning. I had a young child back then that, I wanted to be home and spend time with them. So I sort of made my goal to be home for dinner every night at 6 o'clock, and to try not to work on the weekends. The first year I did, but then after that, I built my schedule to the point where I didn't have to. So I was very much focused on that, and I guess the challenge that I ran into was growing faster than I ever had expected, and maybe not understanding that early on in your career you have to sort of manage the expectations a little bit more and not jump at every single opportunity that comes your way. And just because you get a phone call doesn't mean that you should go out and just show that property that second without getting them pre-approved and all that other stuff. So it took me a little while to learn that stuff and to be able to balance my schedule out more and to be able to set expectations for the clients. But once I got over that, the growth came from figuring out the roadmap and what to do. And I didn't have a roadmap back then. I didn't know whether you needed to hire a buyer's agent first or an assistant first. And I was sort of flying by the seat of my pants. I was creating my own websites and creating technology that didn't exist and trying to come up with all these different things that I thought were the right ways to do things, and not having the roadmap that I have now, right? So sort of looking back, whatever it was, 6, 7, 8 years ago, giving the new agents the opportunity to have that roadmap to what they need to do in their business, it was helpful because I wish I had that when I first started.
Yep. So you jump into the resale side around 2008 or so. At what point did you? Was it right after that first year that you started your team?
So the first year in the business, I did maybe like 50 deals, and at that point, I said I just have too many leads. I need to be able to have somebody else to handle these. So I brought a buyer's agent on first out of need for just having too many leads and not doing anything with them. That was my reason for doing it. So I guess I started a team my second year. I started with a buyer's agent. And then as we got more leads, I brought on a second buyer's agent. And then I literally was running every second of the day, like running to the printer, running to my car, like physically running, because that's how I felt. I may have only had 10, 15 listings at the time, but it felt like I was just so busy, and I was like, I just can't handle this. So I hired an assistant. I reluctantly fought it for a long time because I said, well, why do I need to pay somebody to do this? I can just do this stuff myself. And I fought it for a while, and finally I hired an assistant, and my life changed. I went from 10 listings to 20, 30, 40, however many it was, because I had all this free time. And I was able to run my business more efficiently and provide better service to my clients and have a better balance. And then when we started to increase the business, my assistant got too busy, so we split that role between transaction and marketing. And then when those roles got too busy, we split the marketing from listings to, the branding stuff. And then we just continued to grow from there as, we changed the focus on growing the team and focused on bringing on more leads and more people and more support, and realized that later on in the career, the name of the game for a lot of people is time. People just don't have enough time in their business. So we wanted to create a platform for agents on our team to be wildly successful, to be able to pull those administrative tasks off their plate so they could focus on their core competencies. So we have a very beefed up back end. Right now, I think we have maybe like 17 staff members or something like that, like 17 operations people that handle everything from operations to, we have a lot of marketing people, we have multiple ISAs, we have a team concierge, we have a sales director of sales, we have a director of lead generation, we have 2 regional directors that are helping us grow our expansion locations. We have virtual assistants, we have listing coordinators, transaction coordinators. We have a lot of beefed up back end, so everything for the agents on our team is handled for them, so they can literally just focus on their core competency, which is going out and selling houses and having a good work-life balance.
Yep, love it, dude. So, when you start, because like I know, for example, when I started my team, man, I was a great real estate agent, a great salesperson, but then when I started my team, I realized all those skills were irrelevant, right? It was how good of a leader, how good of an entrepreneur I was. What were some of those tough obstacles, tough lessons, if you will, that you had to overcome when you started your team that maybe you weren't prepped for?
I think probably the first thing I had to overcome, which was probably just a limiting belief and a mindset thing for me, was that everybody that called in wanted to call in and talk to me, because my name was on all the signs. The branding was around my team, Noah Ostroff and Associates. So I just assumed that everybody wanted to talk to me. So I always felt like I had to have my hands in the pot. Then I realized that they weren't calling to talk to me, and frankly, they didn't even know me half the time. They were just calling off of the sign or off of a website. Once I realized that they weren't calling to talk to me, but they wanted to deal with what we stood for, that changed the game up for me, because I was able to introduce people to the other people on my team, taking the leads and giving them the people on my team, and without them feeling that they had to work with me, and creating that system for people to come into and have everybody on the team stand for the same thing. I forgot your original question. What was the?
Yeah, it's just those initial challenges when you're starting your team that you didn't expect to be a challenge.
Yeah. So that was probably the first one, and then it was also as you bring agents on the team and the different personalities of people on the team, being able to accommodate all the needs that everybody had. Another challenge was, it's a constant battle with the leads, right? So you went from having, whatever it was back at the time, a few hundred leads a month that were great quality leads. And then as you bring more people onto the team, those leads get watered down. So, agents would complain about not having enough leads. And then when we would, spend some money to beef up the volume of leads, then the quality of the leads went down, and agents would complain about the quality of the leads. So then we would tighten that up. They would complain about the quantity of the leads. So that sort of was the constant battle for me, and it was the hindrance to the growth of the team, because let's say every agent can only handle 30 leads a month. And let's just say hypothetically, we only at the time had 300 leads a month, and I had 10 agents, right? So if I wanted to bring on an 11th agent, well, that watered down the leads for everybody else. So I had to change my value proposition around. And I had to bring on agents to the team that were self-motivated, that knew how to go out and generate their own leads, and that could plug into our system to be wildly successful and to use our platform to be able to work their center of influence, their past clients, work their database, utilize our value proposition to generate their own business. And the value proposition, again, wasn't about leads anymore. It was more about systems and support and culture and the roadmap to help you be successful. And oh, by the way, we generate 1,200 leads a month right now too, and you're going to get your piece of the pot for that as well. So changing the game on our value proposition really helped us grow. And we had to make a vision that was so big that we were able to attract wildly talented people that had big visions as well to fit within our organization. So, it gave us the ability to recruit agents that were doing $10 and $20 million in volume on their own, that just didn't want to manage a team anymore, that just wanted to plug into a system that already existed So they can, they could just do what they wanted to do and enjoy their lives and still make money along the way.
Yep. So do you have a different incentive or split structure compared to, okay, if I bring the deal to the table or if you give me that lead? I mean, how is that incentivized?
We don't.
Okay.
At one point, we did have that, and it just became very difficult to manage. And I really wanted my pay structure to be transparent with everybody on the team. I didn't want people to have special deals because you give somebody a special deal, and then all of a sudden, you bring on somebody that's a higher producer than them, and they want an even better deal. And then you always have to keep upping the deals. And just at some point, it just didn't work anymore. So we pay everybody on the team 50%. Now everybody that's joining our team now, we pay them 50%, 50-50 split. If it's a lead that comes through the inside sales department, it's 25% off the top and then 50-50 split, so it ends up being 37.5%. But we take care. But if we're paying somebody 50%, that's a true net to them, right? Pretty much that's a true net split. A lot of times I talk to agents that were recruiting to our team and they say, well, you guys are only paying 50% and I'm making whatever, 70% right now. I'm losing 20%. I said, well, let's just break it down. You're grossing 70%, but what's your cost of sale? How much do you pay to other agents? How much do you pay to your brokerage? And then what are your expenses? How much do you pay for marketing and office space and administrative support and all that stuff? And when we break it down, most of the time, agents never even look at it that way. And a lot of times they're right at 50% or even below 50%. So what we offer ends up being more than what they have. We take care of all the marketing, all the administrative, just about all of the expenses for them. And they really have no risk to running their business.
Yeah. And one thing that agents never really take into consideration is that time. I mean, all that time you take off, that's 20 hours off their plate. So even at a 50%, they're making a hell of a lot more.
It's actually more than that. So the formula that we run through is, I ask people when I meet with them, how many hours a day do you typically spend on administrative tasks? And the answer I get most of the time is I spend 2, 3, 4, 5 hours a day on administrative tasks. So say, okay, let's be conservative. Let's say you only spend 2 hours a day on administrative stuff. So that's 5 days a week. That's 10 hours a week that you're spending on administrative stuff. Well, that's 52 weeks a year. Times 10 hours a day, it's 520 hours a year that you're spending on administrative tasks. Well, let's say that an average work week is 40 hours a week. So let's divide 520 hours a year by 40 hours a week. That gives you 13 weeks a year that you're getting back in your life. So that's about 3 months a year that you're getting back in your life. Well, if you're doing about 3 deals a month, times 3 extra months you're getting back in your year, that's 9 extra deals that you're going to get back just from not having to do administrative tasks. And if your average commission is, let's just say it's $5,000, $10,000, whatever it is, that's $5,000 times 9 deals. You're going to make an additional $45,000 just by having those 2 extra hours a day of freeing you up and not having to do administrative tasks. That doesn't take into consideration any of the other things that we're going to provide you to help you be successful in your career and help you grow to the next level and help you perform at levels you didn't realize you could even perform at.
Yep. Love it, man. Love it. So when it comes to what's working today for you guys, I mean, you got these 1,200 leads that are coming in. You've got your ISAs that are pounding these phones. I mean, what's working really well for you today?
So there's a lot of things that are working. Right now, my main focus for our team is on expansion. So I know a lot of people probably are talking about expansion right now on your show. For us, it's an opportunity of a lifetime that just hasn't really been on the forefront of people's minds up until the last couple of years, and I think we'll get bigger and bigger as things grow. So we looked at it, and last year we sold about 550 houses in Philadelphia. And I said, you know what? Can I sell another 100 houses a year in Philadelphia? Can I sell another couple hundred? And the answer was maybe. But could I sell 5,000 houses a year in Philadelphia? The answer is probably not. But could I go out and could I start teams in suburbs of Philadelphia or other locations around the country and start teams and sell 50 houses, 100 houses with a couple people? And the answer was 100% yes. So I modeled it out and I put together an entire model of how I was going to do this. And my original plan was to form 50 teams around the country over the next 10 years. And I wanted to be the first team to do $1 billion in sales a year. It was like a couple thousand deals a year. And to me, it was like a very easy way to do that. I mean, I shouldn't say easy, but it was something very achievable that I was able to do. And then after, speaking with other people and sort of going on that path for a while, I realized that even that goal was too small. So now our goal is to be in 700 locations around the country over the next 10 years. And we feel like we can get to $1 billion in sales in about 4 years, and probably 2 billion in 10 years, or maybe less than that. And we're having fun doing it along the way. We're going out. We're hiring regional directors around the country. We're going to cities all over the country to form these new teams. We're opening up in Miami and New Jersey and Philadelphia and Texas, and we're even opening up in the UK, outside of the United States, to do that as well, because it's such a huge opportunity. And after talking to agents, what we have and what we are able to provide is just something that there's such a need for it in the business. And I feel like teams are going to get bigger and stronger as time goes on. And I feel like in the future, you're going to see more teams become prevalent, more agents not just come in and be on their own, but join up with teams in the beginning to get past that learning curve. Because, a lot of agents that join the business, very talented people, just never make it past their first 4 to 6 months because they just can't survive not making money for those first couple months, and they get out of the business a little too prematurely. So we're gearing up for that, and we're gearing up for the shift in the market, which we know is coming sooner than later. We're doing whatever we can now to provide exceptional customer service to our clients, so when the market does shift, we have a value proposition that just sets us apart from everybody else.
So when you're looking at these expansion markets, man, I mean, are you looking at markets that are very similar to Philly? Because what works in Philly, right, may not be proven and work in San Diego. I mean, are you looking at that? Is that one of the deciding factors for you?
Not at all. I mean, certainly that helps because we're familiar with that, but we're not looking at that at all as one of our things. I mean, we do sort of have like a minimum price point that we want to be in, which is about 300,000, just because not that the model doesn't work at a lower price point, but obviously I don't have to do as many deals if the average price point is 300,000. So we're looking at a minimum price point. For me, I'm looking at locations that I can get direct flights to from Philadelphia, just because trying to make it easy on myself. But most importantly, we're looking for the people, right? So we're looking for the talent. And while we're growing from Philadelphia first, so we went from Center City, Philadelphia, to the suburbs of Philadelphia, and then we expanded into Jersey. So we have Philly living Center City, Philly living Main Line, Philly living Devon Wayne, Philly living Media. So we're growing the Philly living brand in the Philadelphia and the suburban offices here. And then in Jersey, we have Jersey living. In Miami, we have Miami living. And so that's the brand that we're going into with all the different locations. But so the goal is to saturate our current MLS first and to work off of the inkblot model. So really we're saturating our area first and sort of growing out from there. But when we get opportunities in other areas like Miami or the UK with talented people, we're taking advantage of those as well.
Yeah, and then the back-end infrastructure, the support is still handled from Philly. You're just looking for talented agents there that can fit your model.
Yeah, so our back end is beefed up huge. I mean, we have 17 back-end operations people right now, which is huge. Because we're operating like a way larger company than we are right now. So when our goal is to do 800 deals this year. When we do those 800 deals, we don't want to feel like we're doing 800, because the story I told you in the beginning was when I had 10 listings, I felt like I was doing, I felt like I had 200 listings. Well, my goal is to set our systems up so we could operate under the fact that maybe one day we will have a couple thousand listings at a time, or do a few thousand deals at a time, but we don't want to feel like we are. We want to still feel like we're only doing 10. So really specializing in that and giving us the ability to work at a very high level, higher than what we're working now, but not feel like we are along the way. And I think that's going to be the key to anybody that's on this. Anybody that's listening right now that's doing expansion or thinking about expansion, is making sure that your back end is beefed up enough to support your growth. Because if you don't have that beefed up, if you don't have your lead generation beefed up, then your expansion is going to just fizzle out.
So do you see with this expansion and getting to that level, I mean, what keeps you staying with a brokerage, with your team, compared to just being like, hey, we'll still keep it the same model, same team model, but just taking it where, I mean, do you have any concerns of sellability down the road with that, with keeping it within a brokerage?
I'm not. I get that question a lot. I'm not really focused on being able to sell this off. I know that's a question that I get all the time. I mean, I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now. I'm certainly not at the point where even if I could sell it, I'd want to retire. But I would say that for me, Keller Williams is a great company to be in, and that's the reason that I joined Keller Williams was because Keller Williams has over 700 offices around the country and around the world. And Keller Williams, they are my distribution centers for my business. So I literally just pop into any Keller Williams office, any Keller Williams market center around the country, and I can set up a team there and grow a team there. I get an office space from them. Keller Williams is very cheap to work for. They're a very agent-centric business, so they don't charge a lot of money. So I set up a team there, and I don't have to worry about signing personal guarantees on leases or ordering copy paper or ordering coffee at these different offices. I literally just plug in and go about my business, and it's very simple for me to do that. I could be up and running there in like a couple weeks.
Love it, bro. Love it, man. So, we find that good becomes the worst enemy to greatness pretty quickly for a lot of people, right? It's so easy to get caught up on this good enough. Okay, let me just take the foot off the accelerator. Let me coast. Obviously, you're a dude that doesn't accept good enough. You're always chasing greatness. What keeps you doing that? Because you're at a point, dude, where you could just be like, I'm good. Let me just manage my team from afar. Money, you probably have the money coming in and be set for the rest of your life if you chose to. What keeps you leveling up?
It's not about the money for me right now. It hasn't been about the money for a long time. For me, it's about doing something that hasn't really ever been done before to the levels that I want to do it at. So I'm just motivated by that. I'm motivated by being able to provide something really cool for team members and be able to provide opportunities for people on my team. I want to provide generational wealth for all my people, all my top people that are on my team, and to have a number of millionaires on my team at any given time. And I really want to provide opportunities for other people. And I like growing businesses, right? So. And when you first started in real estate, it was fun selling houses. The art of the deal was exciting, and negotiating was exciting. I would say it became less exciting when people started texting negotiations and not really communicating on the phone. And after a while, selling a house wasn't as exciting to me. So I needed to sort of reinvent myself and why I wanted to get up in the morning. And for me, it was about growing businesses. I enjoy growing businesses. So for me, this is another opportunity to sort of figure out how to grow a business and grow it at a huge level. And what I love so much about it right now is I'm learning from people that don't even realize that they're teaching me. I'm reading tons of books right now. I read and listen to books. I try to get through like one every week or one every couple weeks, and just learning from great people that have done it before us, companies like Starbucks and the Container Store, and just other people that are teaching me about culture and about the different ways that business is done these days, and different than how it's been done before, like where it used to be the carrot and the stick. Well, people are motivated by different things now. They're motivated by making an impact on the world and by doing things differently. So I'm trying to embrace that. I'm trying to provide things that nobody else is doing. So we're having fun along the way. Back maybe when our parents were working, our grandparents were working, it was you worked, you came home, and it was very strict at work. Well, if we're spending most of our lives at work, why not have fun while we're doing it and enjoy ourselves along the way? So the culture has been a big thing for us as well.
Yep. Awesome, dude. So, I know when you first started out, man, you were just running, cranking out 50 deals that first year, working late nights, weekends. What does your schedule look like today, dude? What's a typical day for you?
Wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I have 3 kids, so I get them all. I wake up at 6. I do my stuff in the morning. Kids get up about 7 o'clock. I listen to an audiobook in the morning before the kids wake up for maybe a half hour or so. Get the kids out of the house about 7:45. And then I go to the office, or I check on different job sites that I'm listing or that I'm building myself. Get into the office. I'm usually I'm lead generating, right? So when I was a listing agent, I knew what I did every day. I would come in, I would generate leads, I would go on listing appointments, I would close deals. So now I've pulled back a little bit from personally being in sales, but I still look at myself as a listing agent. I come in every day, I lead generate for talent, so I lead generate for people. I set up appointments with agents to join any one of my teams, or I lead generate for regional directors to open up regions for me around the country. Then I sit down and I meet with people and I go on my listing presentations, which are my, recruiting presentations. I close the deal and then I transition them and then we have a smooth onboarding process to get them to the team. So I spend a lot of my time doing that. I meet with people on my team. I do trainings. I do masterminds for agents on my team. I try to come up with creative ways that we can grow the business and lead generate and create opportunities for people. Still the rainmaker, right? But in a different way now than I was before. I'm not the rainmaker who's taking all the listings, but I'm maybe the rainmaker who's creating opportunity for other people on the team.
Yep.
Or people that are not on the team.
Yep. Love it, man. So you talked about loving to read and being a student of the game. What are I know this is a tough question because there's so many great books, but what are some of the few books that have had the biggest impact on your life and your career that you'd recommend to our listeners?
I have read a lot of great ones, but I just read one in the last couple weeks that was awesome. It fired me up so much, and it was called The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. And actually, you sound a little bit like him. Your voice sounds a little bit like him. But I listened to that audiobook for like a week, and that just fired me up, man. And just got me thinking differently. So I would definitely recommend that book, The 10X Rule. Always The Millionaire Real Estate Agent is always a great book to start out with. Anybody, if you haven't read it, for sure, that one's definitely on the list of things to read. Also really like The Compound Effect. That's a good, again, just a basics of business book. But I thought that one was really great as well. The One Thing, of course, that's always, I mean, there's so many of them. I could give you like a top 10 list of all the ones I like. I just got done reading a book called Drive, which is about culture and about different types of culture. That was a pretty cool one. Right now I'm reading, it's called Uncontainable. It's the Container Store. The story about that guy. And it's a lot about culture. I'm learning about culture right now. But man, there's so many good ones. I would start off Millionaire Real Estate Agent and 10X Rule would be my and Compound Effect would be my top three right now.
Yep. Love it, man. So
what are yours?
Oh, dude, so the 10X Effect with Grant, I've had Grant on the podcast as well, and he's been a mentor of mine for probably about 4 years now, and I've probably read that book about a dozen times, dude. That's a brilliant book, and yeah, anything Gary Keller puts out, I recommend anybody, not even in the real estate space, but if you're in the real estate space, I mean, he's the best author and probably the most brilliant mind I know in this space. So, Disrupt You by Jay Samit, I think right now is probably the most relevant book that any of us can read. Recently just had him on the podcast as well. And this is a dude that, he's the guy that Bill Gates goes to and Richard Branson go to about disrupting different elements of their industry. And so what's cool about this podcast, you get the opportunity to sit down with some of these guys that have come from nothing and made hundreds of millions or billions. But yeah, that book, dude, holy crap, will blow your mind. But you got 2.4 billion millennials out there. There's not 2.4 billion jobs, so we've got to think completely differently. Which that's why you're so damn successful, dude. Is you're thinking outside the box and disrupting an industry on a massive level. So, so let's say, dude, something happens, bro. Something happens and you get financially totally wiped out. But you're like your health's good, your kids are good, your wife's good, family's good. All that's good, but you've retained all the information, all the knowledge that you've learned over all these years. What are the first couple things that you do immediately to go out there and rebuild, knowing what you know today?
So I'm starting from scratch. I have no business. I have no people. I have no leads. That's what you're asking.
Yep.
So it's an interesting question. Actually, somebody asked me this yesterday, coincidentally, and I really had to think about it. Somebody asked me if I was just helicoptered into a new location where they didn't know me, how would I drum up business? So I think I would start a little differently this time, knowing what I know now. I think I would start with the people, right? So going out and getting the people. The leverage has been a really good lesson for me over the last couple of years, and just realizing the power of people and the return on investment for people. You get like 1,000 to 1 return on investment when you're dealing with people, and a great hire is probably worth 3 times as much as a good hire. So I'm willing to overpay for the people that work for me if they can show the value of what they can provide. So me personally, like if I had to go out and sell again and build a business, I would start by I would go to a neighborhood, I would find all the vacant lots, all the shells, that existed. I would make a list of all those properties. I would come back, track down the owners of those properties, and I would just start calling them saying, hey, I see you have this vacant lot. I see you have this shell. Would you be interested in selling that property? I have, somebody that may be interested in buying it. And then I would get the list of those people, and then I would go to the builders and I would go to the investors and tell them that they had properties, because when you sell a house for an individual person, you're selling one house. Maybe you get two sides of the deal. When you're selling to builders or investors, it's multiple deals. It's multiple deals every year. Sometimes it's a tract of land where you get 10, 20 homes on it. So I'm looking at multiples, right? I'm trying to multiply and grow as fast as I can. So I would do that, and I would grow the business from there. When I had so many leads that I couldn't handle, I would again go out and hire more people, and then I would leverage. The same way I built this time, except for I think I would bring people on a lot quicker than I did originally.
Yep. Awesome, man. So Noah, how do people reach out to you, man, if they want to learn more about you? If maybe they're in Miami and they're like, man, I want to get on this expansion. I want to work with Noah. They want to learn more about it. Where's the best place to go to get a hold of you and learn more about you?
Yeah, so right now we're looking for great regional directors that are looking to grow out regions for us and open up teams in different regions around the country. Whether we have a location there or not, if you're a talented person that is looking to do that type of stuff, we want to talk to those people. And also we're looking for talented agents that really just want to plug into a system that already exists. Whether you're a $5 million agent or a $30 million agent, we can help you grow your business and help them grow. So anywhere in the country, we're looking for people. Anywhere in the world, I should say. And you can email me. My email address is noah@phillyliving.com, or people could just call me on my cell phone, 215-801-1587. I don't mind that as well. Check out our website, phillyliving.com, jerseyliving.com, globalliving.com. There's tons of ways that you can find us. There's just look us up and you'll be able to get some. But yeah, we're really looking for talented people, and we're always looking for creating opportunities for different people.
Yeah, right on, man. So, I started this podcast, dude, because especially in the real estate space, there's so much smoke and mirrors. You got all these quote-unquote gurus or coaches that have never actually went out there and done it, right? So I'm like, well, let me just go out there and interview the doers. Guys like yourself that went out there and that they built these epic, massive businesses, overcome adversity, and are doing big things. And with that being said, our listeners right now, they're listening right now to get that information, to go out there and create an epic life, an epic business like you've been able to create. So do you have any last pieces of advice or inspiration or motivation they'd like to leave them with so they can go out there and create that life they know they want and deserve?
Yeah, we're all looking to create the life by design, right? So I would focus on your business versus in your business. So try to spend as much time as you can focusing on your business and growing and planning and business planning more than you're focusing in your business, because that's what's going to take you to the next level. Get a coach. No matter what level you're at in your business, get a coach, somebody that can mentor you, hold you accountable for your stuff. And take you to the next level, and focus on training. Say yes to every training event you can go to. Travel across the country to go to trainings. Figure out who you want to model your business after, or who's doing things better than you, and reach out to those people and see if you can shadow them for the day. See if you could get on the phone with them and pick their brain, take them out to lunch. Go to any trainings you can. Most of the top agents in the country, I know a lot of them. I don't know all of them. I know a lot of them, and I mastermind with them. And they're all so generous with their time. They're all willing to share their information. They're all willing to help other people out, because we all start at the same spot. So don't be afraid to reach out to those people, including me. I'm always happy to help anybody out. Reach out to those people. Learn about what they're doing. Model after what they're doing. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. The system and the roadmap has already been created for you. Just follow it. Stop trying to reinvent everything that already exists, and plug into a system and just take that to the next level.
Yep. Powerful words, man. And to our listeners, I know we end every podcast with this, you guys, but information without implementation is just the start of delusion, you guys. Information is not power. It's taking that information, taking action on it, that creates power in our world. So Noah shared so many great pieces of information, so much great advice, so many just golden nuggets today. Take something that you learned today, implement right now into your business so you can go out there and create that life you know you want and deserve. And Noah, man, I know how busy you are, dude. This has been a massive honor, man. Really appreciate you taking your time to be here, dude. This has been great.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. It's been fun. It's been good chatting with you.
Yep, absolutely. All right, you guys, we will see you next time.